Lads, unfortunately, our generation does not reward incompetent men, i.e., men with bad habits, a bad paradigm, and bad results. And you can't hate the player. You got to hate the game because that's just how the world is. The world is all stemmed from one thing, guys, and that is reproduction. And effectively, we need to be as competent as possible for the world to work in our favor as a man. Once we hit 16 to 18 at a worst case, nobody gives a fuck about you, right? Nobody gave a toss about me, and I was a completely insignificant person to women, to other men to network with, to even like everybody. Like you will have all felt this. You literally just become completely worthless. And the great thing about it is, guys, is that you can actually build yourself into somebody who isn't worthless to society. Okay? And you can become the most competent person. You know, women, and this is the great thing, women can just be highly valued straight away because of their beauty, because of their peace they can bring to people. And this is why you'll see 25, 30-year-old successful men, like an 18-year-old girl straight out of the blocks, can just, her value's there. Whereas our value doesn't just come from beauty, guys. Our value comes from not just the looks, like I said, but how we think, how we act, how we earn, how we live, our everything, right? Our lifestyle design is how we're going to be valued. So if you look average, if you think average, if you act average, if you earn average, if you live average, it makes it extremely difficult, and you will not be rewarded in any way, shape, or form by this world. Why would the same outcomes give you different results on this planet? They simply don't. Your appearance, your finance, and your lifestyle shows competence, and it also shows resourcefulness, which is the largest motivator for reproduction, which is attraction. Now, some of you may be saying, oh, blah, 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 blah. The thing is, guys, everything you do, it's in our biology, is done on the basis of reproduction. People say, oh, I don't care about money. Okay, I'm pretty sure you do. Well, what are you going to do with no money? Okay, how are you going to be able to attract a partner if you've got no money, if you're homeless? All right, how are you going to be able to pay for your partner? How are you going to show love to your family if you don't have money? What if your family member gets really ill? What if your girlfriend gets ill and you can't even pay her medical bill? What if you can't even take her away on holiday? What if you can't even buy her anything? You can't show love to a girl if you're incompetent. And I am telling you this from hindsight because I've been exactly that. I've been in relationships and felt deeply in love, but as a man, your emotions aren't just your love. Your competence is your love. And I was in situations like I'm sure all of you have been when I was 17, 18, and I could have loved this girl, but I couldn't have even shown a tenth of the love that a man should really be able to show. And that he shows it with competence. Okay, so today I'm going to reveal the most adopted, the most detrimental causes of failure for men so you can avoid them on their path to achieving high competence, i.e. 1% status. And you're going to be bulletproof after this. So I'm going to show you what not to do and what to do. 4 simple steps so you can actually become undeniable. It's very important. Everyone focuses on how to. You need to know not what to do as well. And I guarantee you're all making one of these mistakes. And look, I'm not going to run this in order. I'm simply just going to run through them. Okay, let's get straight into these. So the first thing is detrimental. Okay, and this is something that I know not too many guys may even think about. And it's stop turning around. You have to stop. When you're starting out, guys, in your journey, and we can be referring to anything. You could be referring to your fitness journey. You could be referring to your business journey, your finance journey, your lifestyle journey, anything. When you are coming from the bottom, you are in your worst case scenario. So you can only look up. And we know this from studying the wealthiest people on the planet over the last hundreds of years and reading books, that you need a definitive goal and a strong desire and persistence, and you need to see the future as if it's the present. So when you're at the bottom, right, you can't look back. You can only look up. So it's actually the easiest part of your journey because all you have to deal with is building desire and then building a strong emotional connection to that. That's the only thing you have to do. Okay? So you're just looking up. So essentially, you got nothing to lose. Once you begin, though, to make a solid amount of progress in anything, you can now look back at where you came from. So not only can you look up, but you can also look down. And that's the issue, guys, because the one thing that got you to this new level of physique or this new level of lifestyle or business and finances or even a relationship, like you now went from this weirdo to now you've got a hot chick, but now you can look back to not having a hot chick. Like everything, when you can look back at where you were, you can now look back. And what that does is it brings in a fear mindset. You have to keep what got you there the whole time. I actually had an instance of this with a client the other day, a business client who is really starting to grow at a very good pace, really getting out the blocks. He's relocated and he has a fear in his mind that he brought up to me, and he was like, oh, I'm thinking of doing this, going back. And his definitive thought now, for like a few days before we caught him and realigned him, was going back to where he came from. So the major thought on his mind was, oh, going back home to like where it all started, going back home. And guys, there's a great quote, and it's effectively, I'm not going to butcher it. In fact, guys, I'm going to read it to you. Any idea that is held in the mind that is emphasized, either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. Read that again. Any idea that is held in the mind that is emphasized, that is feared or revered, good or bad, both of them are desire. Fear or revered can be both a desire. A desire is just a strong one. Sometimes people want what they don't want, right? Will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. So effectively, because now he was temporarily, before we caught him, he was looking back at where he'd come from. What this was doing is it was now becoming his major thought, and that will begin at once to clothe itself. You know, that's going to change your habits because your belief systems are different. You're going to procrastinate more. You're not going to want to take the same level of action. So what we have to do, guys, is we have to continue adopting the blinkers on mindset. A lot of the things we're going to talk about today are blinkers on, but just with different scenarios, right? But stop turning around. You don't see a horse winning the race turn back because it just slows down and it starts heading backwards. That you follow your eyes, you follow your path. You know this, guys. It's like if you're on a Segway and you go where you're leaning, right? So stop going the other way. You have to imagine that you are always just cementing your new baseline and you are always at the bottom and you're always looking up. So you've got to keep that gap growing. You should always be as far from your goals as you are on day one. You should never get close to your goals, because when you see yourself as at the goal, the only place is really back. You need to be always like at the bottom and keep your goals moving. You should get further from your goals, because if you're surrounding yourself with high performers, they would force you to think bigger. And I'll say this, guys. Building the mindset to stay at the top and to continue to grow is much more difficult initially than getting there. I.e., you must keep moving to a bigger vision. Because now you have to train the mind, like we had to do with my client the other day, on look, I always say it like this. Like, imagine you've got guys like Ronaldo. Look, him becoming the number one footballer on the planet, difficult. It was a lot more difficult for him, I can speak very honestly. It was a lot more difficult for him to stay there with all of that pressure on him of potentially now not being the highest performer on the planet. And that shows immense level of mindset. I have immense levels of respect for anybody who is the best in their field, in anything. I don't care if they're the best ice hockey player, if they're the best footballer, if they're the best entrepreneur, best fitness athlete. For someone to get there is cool. Staying there is another thing, okay? And that's because they're continuing to just look up. Bit of a visual for you, though, guys, on this analogy, if you're not quite getting your head around it. If you're about to you're about to rock climb a big cliff face. At the start, you don't fear falling because your feet are on the floor. You're in a comfortable environment, okay? You only see up. And what do? If you only see up, you will follow your eyes. Therefore, you start moving up. But now you've got up and you're halfway up. Now you can see up, yeah? But you can also turn around and look back and you're not in a comfortable environment. And what you want to do is you want to fall back to the lower temperature. You want to fall back down to the comfortable place on the thermostat where it's not too hot. And you want to get to the point where you're back comfortable. You want your feet on the floor and you're going to turn around and you want to go and head back to comfort. That's what your human nature is designed to do. It's to keep you safe. But you have to absolutely deny this at all causes. You have to become unhuman. And again, we will talk about this. Okay? So you have to keep always looking forward. If any of you guys have ever made a ton of progress and you've then looked back, it's not nice, guys. You have to keep moving forward. If you don't master this, you're going to be stuck at your first sight of progress. And guys, that is not sufficient to be competent in this world. Number 2, you must also focus the mind with ideas, right? Now, I know you guys who are watching my videos, you are entrepreneurial mindset men. You have visionary minds. You sit there in the evening, driving your car, in the shower, out on a walk, doing your daily steps, and you're thinking, you're getting ideas. You see things come up and you're like, oh, I could do something like that. You see opportunities. Now, the more then little opportunities at the start and the more competent you come, the better you build your physique, the better you build your confidence, the better you build your mindset, all of these things. Now you know you're more capable, and now the more you initially want to bring more opportunities to reality. You know, everybody's seen one of these guys and he's got 9 businesses under his name. But the thing is, guys, if you got 9 businesses under your name, they all do pathetically average. Okay? And that's the biggest mistake I see so many guys do. Another one of those I'm not going to talk too much about today, but that's just jumping from one to another. One thing not working and then jump into another and then don't jump into another. You don't have professional issues. You have personal development issues showing up in your business, and you will just run into the same pain point in anything, and that's going to be not having a desire and persistence and specialized knowledge. Okay, the only way to do that is through coaches, mentors, studying, and immense levels of action, learning on the job. But what I want to talk about today is staying focused, right? Focus is the tool to success. Now, everybody's probably heard the quote that, oh, wealthy people, millionaires have multiple income streams. However, this is massively mistaken. I don't see people talking about what the common mistake is or the misconception is. And it's people thinking that they have multiple businesses or areas of focus. And this could not be further from the truth. I only see the successful guys start to add businesses in other diversifications, other areas of focus after the 8-figure mark. Now, I'm not at the 8-figure mark yet, guys. Okay? But I know a lot of guys doing 7 figures. I know many guys doing 8 figures. The 8-figure mark is truly where people then may say, oh, I'm going to add another business. What do I mean by this? If right now you are running a business which might be an agency, or you might have coaching businesses like I do, for example. Well, don't start thinking about opening an Airbnb business, and then don't start thinking about opening a cheese factory, and then don't start thinking about making a clothing company until you're at least the 8-figure mark and you've got CEOs hired and your business is running and growing with SOPs and systems and everything's just running streamlined without you. Right now at the start, before you're at multi-7 figures, you are the brand, right? Yes, you've got people working for you most likely after you've hit 6 figures, but you are going to be the brand, and you can't just have all these areas of focus. It's like a piece of pizza. You want all your focus into one, and you want to send it like a sniper rifle instead of just a little fucking blue at all of these fucking pathetic little attempts that I see. Don't be the guy with 100 businesses in his bio. That instantly means you're broke, right? You want one industry and you want one offer. Okay? Now, look, that for me, let me bring this to an example. For me, I got to simply multi-6 figures in my business years and years and years ago in my coaching business with just one offer. Okay? I effectively had my online coaching business, I had one fitness offer. Okay? And that was a certain offer which was effectively based around deliverables, and there was no negotiation on price or what was included in the offer, what was not included in the offer. It was just one offer, and I just sold one offer and scaled that one offer to multi six figures. Now, yes, that offer now does a lot more than that, just that one offer. But at that point, you then become somebody where you can then look at, okay, maybe the addition of other offers, income streams, not other businesses, other offers that supplement and cater the same need and audience of the first offer now may become applicable. So if I have an offer here, if the whole business is solving one major outcome. So my business effectively is elite fitness, physique, personal development, and mindset, okay? Well, that's solving competence for men, becoming the most capable version of yourself physically and mentally, and just becoming an absolute specimen, right? So my main offer, right, is X. I then may add an offer here and even a higher one. So a lower and a higher one. I actually have this set up now. I have my original mid-tier offer. I've got my entry-level offer, and then I've got my higher-level offer. Okay? And they all help the same problem. They just have different deliverables, levels of mentorship on a one-to-one level with myself, levels of accountability, levels of support. And they're all going for the same thing. So my marketing for my business on like my Instagram, for example, does not change. I'm not now trying to pull in traffic or run stuff to different people. It's still one person with the same goal, but it's just now catering for different levels. At the start, I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't overcomplicate it. You want one offer, and if you can't get to multi six figures, you have a huge personal development issue, and you have a huge offer and business systems issue, right? That may get you a little bit butthurt, but before I got to that point, that's all it were. You know, if you can't get one offer to multi six figures, you have a business issue and you're running the wrong blueprint. It's as simple as that, because it's not very hard at all. You just need to actually be working hard on the right stuff and have your marketing set up correctly, have your offers set up correctly. Now, I don't want this to be too businessy, but that's what you need to do. Now, if you hit the 7-figure mark, which I'm sure you all will watching this video, the addition of other businesses now may become applicable, that now supplement the first one. Okay, again, catering the same need and same audience of the first business, they should be linked. What do I mean by this? I'm going to give you a few examples. I'll share with you guys how I've done it. So I had my fitness, mindset, personal development business. I had one offer, then I scaled to 3 offers. I've now got my main offer, a lower offer, and a higher offer. Basically, so anyone who has these goals, I've got an offer which is applicable and gets elite level results for all of them. Scaled that up to 7 figures. Now, I then introduced another business, okay? Now, what happens, guys, is when you solve people's problems, you can also create another problem for people. That's just what happens. So, for example, imagine what's a problem somebody may have. A problem somebody may have is they are a very incompetent person, okay? And now they become a competent person and they're earning tons of money. Well, maybe now they need an accountant. They didn't need one before because they were broke. They had no money, right? So like it brings you another problem. Now, what I did with my business were obviously I was fitness guys, mindset guys, making absolute savages. There's a link below, you can actually look at some of the transformations and stuff, and it's crazy. But what this did were it created another problem that at the start I weren't even thinking about. And people were coming to me like, Tom, I've turned into this absolute savage. Can you help me build my coaching business? And a couple of years back, I was getting tons of these messages every day. And I was like, I was staying focused for a long period of time. After a few months, started bringing a couple of people in, but like I didn't officially make it a business. And I would just do this like on like a Saturday night at like 7 till 10 p.m. That one gap I had off, I was like, okay, let's work on your business. Then over the years, we built out my elite business program, right? Which is run through a different LLC, right? Now, this is a different business, but it's still linked to the same audience because my audience, not all of them, but we take them on an elite fitness and mindset journey, and some of them go through this self-actualization phase and then want to go into a self-transcendence phase, which is then where they give the best version of themselves back and they even build a coaching business off the back of it. and create their own life of freedom, because that skill is a lot more leverageable and creates a better lifestyle design than the one in the 9 to 5. Even if the 9 to 5 is well paid, I've had guys doing 6 figures in a 9 to 5, leave, become a coach, and then do multi 6 figures, but now be able to have the freedom to live wherever I want, right? That's what it's about. But what happened were that first program, that first business created a problem now where people were like, I don't really resonate with many guys now. I'm operating different. I'm moving different. And I feel so capable. Like, I've got all this skill. Now I need to know how to build and scale this business. And then we've had guys doing 10 grand in the first month, right? Because they now had this stuff. They just didn't know how to systemize it. So then we launched that second business, but it's still the same audience. Like, yes, we do bring in guys who haven't necessarily been in the first program, but they've already been through this process alone, and then we just show them how to build their business, their coaching business or agency business or consultancy business, right? And it's because once you become so competent, you then have that extreme desire and you're capable of more things and you will go after it. So then I built a business which helps them with that. But again, it's not taking away any focus because it's still the same audience. You don't want to be the guy that has random stuff. Only at 8 figures may I then go, okay, I'm going to get into property. I'm going to get into Airbnb. I'm going to open up this cheese factory because I heard there's a lot of profit in cheese. Me, that's not my game. I just stay in what I love. I only do what fulfills me. And my mission is make men as competent as possible, make men as confident as possible, make men the best versions of themselves, because I know what it does from an internal perspective on your life. It changes your life. Me going all in on my fitness, all in on my mindset, completely transformed my life. Being focused on, even at the start, not even money, guys. I was just focused on myself, becoming the best version of myself. Okay. Then again, not money. I just focused on the industry, the career model I wanted to be in. I said, look, if I can just be in this fitness industry and earn 1.5, 2 grand a month, replace my engineering salary, I'm happy. Money then just came in floods off the back of me being so obsessed with my purpose and being focused on my purpose. And I was focused because it was what I loved. I always chose what I loved over what paid. And in the end, that always pays crazily well. Even yesterday, I think my business did over 24,000 in a day. And there is nothing that could have ever done that for me back in the day. Like, it just, those numbers were unheard of where I'm from. Okay. So you need one focus, and you need to simply just solve problems for that market alone. And you don't want to be doing 100 things. If you do 100 things, you're going to be shit at 100 things. Do one thing really well and follow your purpose. Follow what you love. And I know we've talked some numbers here, but like, don't get in it for the numbers. Get in it because you love it, because then you'll focus. And when you focus and you're obsessed and you live it and you breathe it and you know the solution, you can solve problems for other people in a product business, a service business, it could be anything, you will do it. Okay, stay focused, guys. The next thing is the ability to do deep work. If you are always distracted, you will never get tasks done. Now, you're not going to ever get more time. Everyone says, I need more time. I'm like, no, you just need to get better at the time you're investing. If it's with your fitness, chances are you're probably turning up at the gym, right? How do you get more results? You learn your macros. You follow a physique roadmap. You get everything optimized. You train better. You train more intentionally in the time you're training. You follow a better training program that's actually going to build you the body you want. Same with business, right? You focus. Again, it's focus, but now focus on the actual moment, not on the vision, right? So you must learn to compress high quality work into shorter periods of time. You must learn one thing, and that word, guys, is leverage. You must become more leverageable. So I would focus on doing deep work blocks, okay? And I would do this first thing in the morning. I've already done my deep work block. I woke up early this morning. It is now 6:30, and I've done a 3-hour deep work block before I even did this, okay? Ideally, first thing in the morning. Why? There's no distraction, because no one could text me. No one's going to do anything. No one's awake. How am I going to be distracted? My phone, when I'm doing my deep work, goes over there. I actually just chuck it on the table. Noise cancelling headphones on. I'm in a plain room, empty desk, no phones, no distractions. 2 to 4 hour work block. Mastering deep work is like unlocking time travel, guys. Like, this isn't something I've always had. Now, I did get to definitely 6 figures without deep work. I think I definitely did deep work without realizing, but not at the level. There's levels to this. I truly learned deep work with exposure. Like when I invested into certain programs and mentorships with my business, and even then, just because I'd become a more competent person, I would then network with a different level of people, right? I would then now be around and have whether it was online through Zoom calls or chats, or whether it was in person proximity with traveling and relocating to Dubai, you're around different people. But seeing how other people operate on that level is such a hack to deep work, right? Like when you live with people who can do deep work and are extremely focused, it's going to make it a lot more easy for you to do that. The chances are, right? No disrespect to anybody's parents or families or friends, myself included. It's not normal to be the most competent 1% man. So the chances are you weren't living around one. And therefore, you've probably not seen deep work done at the highest level. So you need to expose yourself. You've got to get in the rooms. And always remember this, guys. The devil wants you to procrastinate. One of the biggest ways the devil, besides fear, keeps you in the same spot and doubt is procrastinate. It wants you to procrastinate. So you're going to get feelings of procrastination to stay in the same place all the time. And you have to fight that. And you have to get competitive against the devil. That's what you've got to do, guys. Deep work is honestly a hack. If you want to use like stuff like this, like noise cancelling headphones, don't blast music out. I use something called brown noise at a really quiet volume, which helps when I'm doing really focused thinking work and deep work. And then obviously what also applies to the deep work, not only being able to focus and not pick up your phone and just do the one task, okay? But it's actually working on high leverage tasks. You could do 3 hours working on stuff that doesn't grow your business. Everyone knows someone that's been in an industry for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, works hard every day and it doesn't grow. I've spoken with many coaches that have said to me, Tom, I've had a coaching business 1 year, 2 years. I've got one client. I'm like, what have you been working on, bro? Like, it's just leverage. I've got guys that have been in the space 2 weeks who have made 5, 10K, right? Because they have the exact task to work on. Same with fitness, right? I want to keep this deep work a little bit more around your career though and earning. And you have to understand the highest leverage tasks. And this is going to differ for each industry. So like, for example, if you're in coaching, I would be messaging someone like me on Instagram and saying, Tom, this is where I'm at. What should I be doing? Right? I also have a new YouTube business channel. But if you're not in the coaching agency consulting space, go and find a mentor in whatever you do. If you are a Forex guy, go and learn from him and say, where should my time be going? How should I operate? How should I work? If you're in construction, go and find the best guy in construction. Maybe even work for him on a really low salary for 3 years, right? Nothing's given to you on a plate. Go and get in the room. Don't optimize for profits in the first years, guys. Optimize for knowledge and ability and competence. And then you use that to then scale exponentially. It's mentorships, it's apprenticeships, it's all of this stuff. It's learning on the job and being exposed to people way beyond where you are right now, chapters ahead. That's what you need to be doing. You need to expose yourself to it and learn the high leverage tasks of deep work. You must master this, guys. The last thing I want to talk about today is you must become an alien, right? You must be a different species. One thing I get told all the time is like, you are a different, like when people know me in proximity and they're like, this is how you operate. They're like, you're not human. And I'm like, I know, I don't want to be, right? Because if you look at the world of humans, 99% operate totally controlled by the guys up here, okay? Like, it's all programmed, all of it. And you have to be prepared to not be a sheep and become unprogrammable. You must program yourself or choose to be only programmed and take orders from guys who live the life you want, not what the government and people are telling you to do, right? You must be prepared to drop all norms and do everything differently. Everything. I mean everything. Right? Everything you do now is being programmed. You must be willing to unprogram it. You have one lifetime. You're not going to wait till your next one to unprogram it then and say maybe then. You have to consciously do this now. And again, exposure to other aliens is how you do this. I've had some of my physique, even the elite business guys, come out here on my higher package, even live with me, train with me, spend time, they are like, like it's different, right? And do you know what I do, guys? To keep going to different levels, I'm always investing in myself. I'm always on calls with guys doing 8, 9 crazy numbers, right? 8, 9 figures, crazy numbers. Multi 7-figure months, right? I'm exposing myself to another level again. You got to become more alien. You're never going to become more alien unless you've been exposed to how it operates, because you don't know what you don't know. So therefore, your human nature tells you, I know everything, because you know everything you know, but you don't know what you don't know, and there's clearly something you don't know, otherwise you'd have it. If you already knew what you needed to know in order to achieve it, you'd have already achieved it. And to know but not to do is also not to know. So stop kidding yourself. This is all programming that's keeping you in the same position. You have to drop all ego, guys. Everybody who is successful, people may like to slate them and say they've got a big ego. They've got the smallest ego because they've all invested and learned to get there. Myself included. I always have the accountability, even though we've got one of the biggest physique coaches based in the UK. Well, we're based from Dubai and Hong Kong these days, but on banking wise, but I still invest in my own physique coach for accountability, right? I have my own business mentors, many, okay? I have zero ego when I'm listening to people above, when I'm listening to people who have walked ahead, okay? I simply just am the most programmable person to these people. I just listen, soak. I don't argue anything. I don't go, oh, but I don't think this will work for me. I want to do it this way. No, I just go, tell me what to do, and I will do it 365 days a year like a robot. But don't listen to what your friends tell you with no results. Don't listen to what your parents tell you who don't live the life you want. And don't even listen to just people with money. Listen to people who are the guy you would want to become. More on that route. Okay, so your thoughts must be different. Your actions, your wake up time, your habits, your level of intensity, your focus, your savageness, your emotions, your cutthroatness, your calendar, where you spend your time, your definitiveness, your obsession, your network, your relationships and how you manage them, your belief systems, your delusionalness, thoughts. Your pain tolerance must be completely different and unrecognizable to the normal human. People will think you're strange. People will think that you should just calm down. You should just slow down. You should be more like everybody else because that's what makes them feel comfortable. You're making them uncomfortable by being this alien, this high performer. If you are associated with that, if you are like them, you are going to get what they got. You have to be prepared with 99% of the world thinking you are fucking crazy. Now, one of these points I want to talk about more specifically, and it's the biggest killer I see that guys, especially going from that naught to multi-six-figure in online business, I see affecting them massively, okay? And this is just the fear of what others will think if ... All right, you have to stop caring. I say here, become alien. Aliens can't be gay. One of the biggest motivators I say to all of my business clients when they are coming through the process and like, let's say they say something which has fear or doubt and like, oh, I don't know, like what if my old friends from school see this piece of content? I'm like, you're gay. And it works every time. They become a savage because they fear being gay more than their friends seeing this stuff. So always remember, if you become an alien, you can't be gay. But like, guys, it's just true, right? You've got to just go all in. You've got to stop being a little wet fucking sausage, right? Are you really going to live your one lifetime not doing things and changing how you do things because you fear what others will think? You're not going to post a certain thing because your auntie may see it, your mum may see it, because your friends from school may see it. Even when it comes to fear of failure, people then fear failure because they then fear what other people will think if that's what they do. Some people fear success because they fear what other people will think of them when they become successful. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. You have to become like zero. The only way you will be intrinsically fulfilled if you become your potential. If you grow day in, day out, and you have a set blueprint that you know will work and gives you immense levels of clarity so you can be persistent enough to achieve your goals, and that will make you fulfilled. You will live unfulfilled and empty. The amount of guys who are on paper by society, myself included, years back when I was an engineer, I was doing everything right as society would say, but I was empty. I was like, why am I empty? It was because I was living my life the way I were because I feared what others will think if I quit my job, if I get in better shape, if I earn more money, if I took a different path to everybody else. And nothing changed for me until I dropped my ego, listened from only above, and stopped fearing what other people think and was willing to simply just do whatever it takes to get in the rooms with those guys and adopt their mindset, because their mindset, their paradigm is the only one that will get you to your goals. Go back through these guys, action these. This has to become embedded in your daily worshipping of your own mini Bible. This is key, right? Become an alien, deep work, master it, focus. Don't get distracted with all these ideas. If it's a really good one, write it down and come back to it once you've earned 7 figures doing what you're doing, right? It's that simple. And stop turning around. Stop being a little wet sausage. Keep looking up. Look up the ladder. You only see up the ladder like it's day one, right? Every day is day one. And attack it like it's your last. Let's go, boys. I'll see you in the next one.